If you like cars as much as I do and you have a tendency to gamble a little bit too much, guess what? This video's for you. I want you to imagine a world, right, where every parlay you ever made, every dollar you ever put into parlays and sports betting or betting in general, betting at the tables. And I'm not talking about the money you won. I'm talking about all the money that you put into betting that you never got back. What if it all just went into like a secret bank account somewhere and you were all of a sudden given access to it today? How much money would be in there is what I'm trying to get at. And what could you do with this money? Think about how many fun shitbox vehicles you could buy with whatever that number is. That's what today's video is about, guys. The overall salient point of today's video is stop gambling so that you can buy shitboxes. I really hope this video found you for a reason. You know, if you really struggle with playing table games or gambling or whatever, I hope that you can find solace in this video and know that you're not the only one out there that's dealt with this problem before and has had to kick it. First of all, it starts with your friends. But second of all, think about all the other stuff you could be doing with your money. And no, I'm not talking about saving it. No, I'm not talking about investing. I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit here and be like, oh, think about all the other great stuff you can be doing with your money that's boring as shit and you can provide for yourself in the future. Because while that is the smart thing to do, I understand it's not the most entertaining for some of you 17-year-old kids watching this video. But if you must conduct some nefarious activities with some of your extra wealth, why not go and get a Chevy S10 with some rust holes in its fenders? Or why not do what I did and go get a cheap Lincoln Mark 8 from the original owner for less than $5,000 and then straight pipe it so you can do donuts and burnouts or whatever you want to do. I can give you countless stories firsthand of how much fun I've had in my vehicles, whether they've been broken down, whether they've been terrible, whether they run great, whether they perform well or not. This isn't a performance vehicle, but I love driving it every single day. But I can also tell you countless, hundreds, thousands of stories of being so stressed out, being covered in stress. Pause. Countless stories of, I'm all jumbled up all over the place now. Countless stories of me being extremely stressed out due to my gambling habits. Guys, I can tell you firsthand, it's never worth the stress. It's never worth the stress. And those times that you've won and you felt so good and you felt like you're on top of the world and no one could touch you and you're untouchable and you're whatever, invincible is the word I was looking for. But those times that you have that feeling is honestly the worst thing that can happen to you. And I'll tell you why. Winning is the worst thing that can happen to you is probably a better way to phrase it, because it gives you that feeling. And with that feeling comes more gambling, comes more playing games, comes more bullshit, comes more of you not accomplishing what you want and you always having less freaking money than all of your friends. To me, you know what is always worth the stress? That beautiful looking vehicle on the other end of the driveway every morning that you walk up to it and you trade that in for about between $5,000 and $10,000 less in your checking/savings account. I understand some of you guys that can stress you out, but listen, no matter how low your income may be or how much your expenditure may be every month, you can find stuff that's slicking out of your checking account. I don't even know if slicking's like a word, but you can find money that's leaving your checking account, your bank account in general, that you can put back to save for a vehicle so that when you do end up spending the money to buy one that you like, you're not putting yourself in a financial situation where you can't keep it, which is also something I've done. Go look at some other videos on my channel. I'm starting to notice a trend here. Like, if you want advice on what not to do, you could probably go back and ask the Cody from 3-4 years ago on exactly what he's doing in his day-to-day, what he thinks is smart to do. I'm starting to think, hey, this channel is a good opportunity for you to learn exactly what not to do, what steps in your life you should just circumvent completely, because I've done some pretty dumb shit, and it's kind of the reason why I've gotten the experience and maybe the wherewithal to talk about some of the stuff we discuss on this channel. Lincoln LS, Chevy S10, old square body Ford 1500. a Lincoln Mark 8, an old V6 Chevy Camaro. Oh gosh, the Lexus LS 400, the Lexus SC series. I mean, countless examples are coming to mind of like what you could buy for 10K or less and actually have a lot of fun with. And no, not all of them have to be total beaters when you buy them either. I mean, you can actually buy some vehicles that have class, that you can have fun in, that you can party in, that you can modify, that you can make loud, that you can actually have some horsepower with some of those options that I mentioned. And guys, that's my whole point here. Some of you guys watching this video have lost 30 grand gambling. Some of you have lost maybe $300 gambling, and you feel like, oh wow, I've lost too much. Let's do some research as to how I can kick this habit. And those of you who are doing that are very smart. But I know guys that have lost damn near $50,000 in their lifetime gambling, and these are young guys. So imagine they're still gambling at 80 years old, how much higher that number is going to be. This video isn't to convince you that it's cheaper to buy cars for fulfillment than it is to gamble. Now, for some of you who are extremely addicted, it probably is. It probably is cheaper. But for most of you who probably don't know how to repair vehicles on your own and probably don't have that big a bankroll to go and spend multiple $1,000s on cars, I can understand how maybe it would sound like it's more expensive to flip one habit for the other, but that's not the point. The point is one is way more gratifying than the other. Think about all those times you've lost 50 bucks on a parlay and just hated yourself afterwards. Personally, I've never bought a vehicle, even if I couldn't afford it. I've never purchased a vehicle and afterwards just completely hated myself. I've regretted my decision making at times, but I've never felt sick to my stomach. I've never hated myself. I've never felt shame for buying a vehicle in general. The goal is to only put ourselves in situations that we can afford, only buy vehicles that we can afford. But I want to tell you guys just real quick, I understand that a lot of you guys are watching this channel for automotive content, and I know that a lot of you guys watching automotive content on YouTube are young males. Young males are the demographic that is affected the most by online gambling in general. And so that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, to resonate with you all. If that's not you, that's okay. I make my videos for everybody, but that's the main reason why I wanted to make this video today. But I also wanted to tie it in to cars somehow. And I've noticed that I've kind of started a little half-ass collection, if you will, of vehicles, and it's way more gratifying than the stress of gambling. I'll tell you that right now. Overall, that's what I wanted to get into today. That's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to delve into. So guys, delete the gambling apps. Go 30 to 60 days without gambling. Tell me how you feel in the comments afterwards. Put 2-3 paychecks in a row, stack them up, and tell me how you feel after you see all that sitting there in your savings account, and you can actually scroll on YouTube and actually lowball people confidently now, knowing that you actually have some money to pull out when you go to pick up these vehicles. That's ultimately what this video is for. And I wanted to make this message to resonate with those of you who could potentially be at risk for gambling too much. Guys, this has been Cody with the Hoopty Lounge. I appreciate you stopping in today and talking with me. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and kick that nasty gambling habit in its butt and get it out of your life for good. Peace out, y'all.